Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing card of the day. I'm using my music deck that I made for myself. If you want one, it's free. I'll send you the PDF and you can print it out for yourself. What was I going to say? I'm just like gone. I didn't do card of the day yesterday because we had like a double emergency situation that had to be dealt with. It's like the fourth one this week, and then I had to do 2 long readings as scheduled, and I hit a brick wall, and I was at a point where I was like, you know what? Just because it's card of the day doesn't mean it has to be literally every day. I try, but it's not as critically important to have it every day. But I try not to skip more than one day at a time. So um, we are gonna get into this energy. I mean, these aren't really time specific either. They're just dated so that it gives a marker of when it came out to differentiate it between the other card of the days. So I'm doing this now. It's 8/24. 8 and 6, 14. That's Temperance. And then 4 more is the Moon. So consider that. Consider also the Lovers, perhaps to do with healing. Okay, so I was just messing about with these, and this is what came out in the challenged position. So this card that I've got here, I know it's not that easy to see, it's like a rainbow splashy thing. It's the 10 of Pentacles, and the song is Kodachrome. But I can't remember right now if it's just Paul Simon or if it's Simon and Garfunkel, but close enough. I think it's just Paul Simon. Give us the nice bright colors, give us the greens of summer. Make you think all the world's a sunny day. Okay. 10 of Pentacles energy. I mean, I'm already feeling Leo energy, but let's see what this is. Oh, okay, I shouldn't... You'd think I'd remember these by now. It's Venus... No, not Venus. Mercury in Virgo. Every time, I swear to God. Mercury in Virgo. The sign with its ruling planet in it. Matchy matchy. So we're trying to complete... I also see it as the wheel, like the wheel's starting to turn, the wheel in the sky. The sun disk is also a wheel as a background energy. And the rainbow is part of an arc, and in rare occasions it does go all the way around in a circle. So we have these wheel shapes. But there's also the idea of what Kodachrome actually is, right? It's a fancy brand name color film. So we're trying to record the world around us in a way that's more accurate, right? And one of the charms that I have is a Polaroid picture. And I've gotten it a couple times in the last week. And I've said for it, it's like the ability to see the past clearly very quickly. It's a little bit like instant karma, but it's not like you're feeling the brunt of it. It's you're like, oh, what did I just do? Not like, oh, what have I done? I'm suffering. It's, okay, let me look at what I'm doing clearly in a way that where I'm reviewing my actions in a timely manner instead of building them all up in a friggin' photo album and stashing it under the bed for 20 years. Now, the Ten of Pentacles is like the happy home card, right? My ends are meeting like a motherfucker. It's abundance. Now, what's interesting is that Virgo is typically like a young feminine energy. And what's also interesting is that it goes with Mercury and not with Venus. Venus is the other planet that rules 2 signs. So I associate Mercury and Venus as being somewhat twin-like because they both have 2. And they're the only ones now that have 2. Even though physically Venus and Earth are twins. So it gives me this. And then the Empress, instead of being Gemini, is Libra as well. So there's this sort of split between these earth-air personalities, where it's almost like Virgo is the mirror twin or the inner child of the Empress. Which I've never noticed that before, but it sounds really profound to me. Virgo is the inner child of the Empress. So because this came out in the challenge position, and the stuff that I was just mentioning, it's like things in your inner workings that have prevented you from moving into the Ten of Pentacles are starting to shift. Sun in Virgo right now. And then there, with this water here, it's indicative of an emotional content. I just heard I feel the earth move under my feet. It's a different song entirely. But it's sort of like, you know, when someone is has an incredibly emotional experience or like a sexual climax, there's this phrase, the earth moved. Right? It's like, oh, I'm shook. It's kind of like this revelation that is starting to keep this from being unattainable to workable. So let me see what's on the bottom of the deck. Temperance inverted. The Lover's behind it. What did I say? Oh, I said Temperance about the day, and then I said 6. The Lover's healing. How about that? I was also thinking of Judgment because I see 20 and 20 next to each other on the time clock. Okay. So this is a little snap from Sonic 2, Chemical Plant Zone. But the song version of it is that I have in my playlist that I made for this deck is actually from Generations because I like it a little bit better. We have Sonic and Tails, Fire and Water here. And this sort of resonant loop trying to go to the same place. And it came out inverted. But 14 combining is a pivot. It's a shift. Things are changing directions. And it ends up as being half of 10. So again, to me, it's like we're halfway there. It's not impossible. It's movable. But what's being... And then I also said moon energy, right? So you have to go through this like one last... It's not like the bulk of the dark night of the soul. It's like... It's like the first sliver after the new moon, right? It's not completely dark, but we have only a little bit of light, but we're moving towards this greater illumination. 14 and 10 together is 24, which is today, which ends up as equaling 6. The song on this card is In My Life, from the Rubber Soul album. It's behind here. Oh, but then behind there is the moon. Yeah, the other cards right behind there aren't really relevant. But I said 6, and then I said the moon. Which in my deck here is Queen of the Night. So, there we have it. The shift that's involved with restoring balance. Temperance is also a card of healing as well, right? So if you haven't been healing, it's the time to double down. But this Ten of Pentacles coming out, even in a challenged position, is actually extremely good. Now what's interesting is we have water here, and then when you put sunlight into it, fire, you get that prismatic effect where the rainbow comes in. And I was going to say it can be a matter of perspective, but it's sort of like light refraction. And what's interesting is that in The Binding of Isaac, a video game that I play, there's a thing that you can get. It's actually a rainbow turd, but when you shoot it and it breaks open, it creates this rainbow and this sort of like leprechaun-y, charmy sound, and it's like full health, which I think is hilarious, which is actually kind of relevant to this. So, it's kind of like, because the 6 is behind the 14 inverted, it's like you're not going to get full health until you balance, right? I'm overworked, I need to rest more, I'm this, I need that. It's trying to restore the flow by restoring the balance. Now what's interesting was equal from 5 and 10, right, because this breaks down to a 5. 5 and 10 brings 15, the devil. But if you get a little bit more and get up to the 6 here, then it becomes 10 and 6, 16, the tower. And we are doing this restructure because it's like I'm not going to be stuck anymore. I'm not going to be trapped in the prison that my inner child has been in. And what's interesting is that 15 breaks down to 6, which goes back into the healing, and then the 16 breaks down to 7, which is the chariot. So it goes back to that movement and that wheel energy. So it's sort of important to go with the flow of your own healing and feed back into it like a feedback loop, instead of resisting it and then being sort of broken under your own wheel. Ooh, 1414, I guess that means it's time to stop. If you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. I have a complete list of the readings I offer and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video, which is linked below this one, or you can just email me and I'll get you that list. Also, with the information, all this other information, like the links to prints and merch and coloring books and actual art items that you can get. Some are made to order, some are already packed up and ready to go, and some are singular drawings and paintings that once they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want to help contribute to my channel, you can come hang out with me on Patreon. I've got some interesting stuff there that's not available to YouTube at large. You could also donate. That's paypal.me/CATtheMinion, and I also have Cash App and Venmo. Alright, so stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.